What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So it has been almost 5 years since I stopped drinking alcohol. It'll be a few months from now, and I thought I'd make a video about it, why I stopped drinking and what it's been like. So I actually stopped drinking when I was working at a ski resort doing a ski season, which is pretty much the last place you'd expect someone to stop drinking, because it's obviously like a real party environment, and it did make it a little bit hard to fit in there. But I had already been thinking about drinking less, and I had intuitively been drinking less. And I remember when I was in my dorm room at the hostel I was staying at for the season, I started watching videos on YouTube, videos about like people that were addicted to alcohol, what their lives were like. And I'm talking like serious addiction. I'm not talking, like drinking on the weekends or whatever. I was watching videos about like people who had like alcoholic disease, I suppose. They were like chronically addicted. They needed a drink just to get up and just to like stop themselves from dying, basically. They would get the shakes and stuff in the morning. I've been watching those. I kind of been getting like almost like scared about alcohol in a sense. And to go along with that, I've been watching those videos, and then obviously seeing people drinking during the ski season also started to turn me off. Like, I remember one guy saying something along the lines of, if he can remember, no, what was it? How's it go? He said he knows he had a good time on the weekend if he can't remember anything that happened. It was basically that idea that like it was only good if you were like so out of your mind and so intoxicated that you didn't even remember what had happened. And he was a little bit older than me. I think he was 29. He might have actually just been 27, 20. He was around, I'm 28 now. He was around my age now. This was obviously like almost 5 years ago. And I just remember thinking like, wow, I don't want to be like that when I'm that old, like that old, literally how old I am now. I wanted to be like having a genuinely good time. I didn't want to feel like I needed to forget everything to think that I had a good time. And yeah, that just like really had a very profound effect on me, seeing like an elder of mine, I guess, like living that way still, and still having that mentality that, everyone's been through that, or a lot of people have. That seems like a little extreme maybe, but yeah, things like that happened really, really turned me off. And just the whole like fact that if you wanted to be social in that environment, you had to drink, and I just didn't like the idea of that. I didn't like that my life had to revolve around something that cost money, didn't leave me feeling good during or after, put me out of my mind, and was like, like addictive, really. I didn't like my life. I didn't like the idea of my life being revolving around that. So yeah, I remember my last drink actually was during a party in one of the pubs at this resort, or in the town nearby, and I think I had a glass of wine, and that's like all I had that night. And I didn't even buy it, someone bought it for me. And then the next morning I went to go for a run, and it was like cold, but just the feeling I had from one glass of wine of just like not being at my peak really, really like sent the message home. I think only one drink too. Like, I guess I should tell you that I get like a pretty heavy effect from drinking. Again, I don't need to drink much. I could have like one beer or one glass of wine, and likely during that I'll already start to feel a bit slow, sluggish, and just not well. And then the next day I'll usually have a headache, and I'll have like pretty extreme muscle aches. Maybe not so extreme from one drink, but only a couple. It only takes a few, maybe like a pint of beer, for me to start having that extreme aches, and that can last at least 2 days. So yeah, whether that's like the alcohol or the additives, who knows, but it's like pretty bad for me. And yeah, I tried to go for this run, and I did run, but just that feeling, yeah, I'm not at my best anymore. Like this, I'm putting something in my body that is affecting me negatively. You put alcohol into a petri dish and it kills the cells that you've got in that petri dish. So yeah, those are like the reasons. Like I didn't didn't like the negative performance. Like, I didn't like it having a negative effect on my performance. So that's pretty much when I stopped. That was like the last drink. People continued going out and drinking, and I sort of stopped going out with them as much, and I ended up leaving the ski season early because, again, it's really not the best environment to be in when you're not doing like drinking alcohol. I'd already stopped doing drugs, so I guess you could say the last drug for me to quit was alcohol. Like, I'd even stopped drinking coffee. So I'm actually straight edge now, and I've pretty well been straight edge since then. I don't think straight edge normally includes coffee, but I also don't drink coffee. I think I might have had a little bit of caffeine. I think I had a Coca-Cola like a couple years ago, and man, I was wired. Like, I think I had it during my 2019 bike tour before I met Taylor, and I had it late at night. I think it was, I went into a club in LA or something, and I didn't want to drink booze, so I was like, oh, well, I just have a Coca-Cola. I didn't realize how profound of an effect the caffeine would have on me, because I couldn't sleep. Wasn't until about 3 a.m. that I got to sleep that night, and I had the caffeine late as well, which didn't help. But yeah, I was so sensitive to it, so it really, really hyped me up, and my mind kept thinking. I couldn't stop moving. I couldn't sit still. It was amazing what effect it had on me, So, yeah, as for the alcohol, though, that's what this video is about. And then to keep myself on the right track, I kept watching more of these YouTube videos, the extreme alcoholics, the less extreme cases, reasons why you shouldn't drink. I found a few good channels that just like helped me like kind of come to understand the addictive effects of alcohol, and then also like the societal pressures to drink it, and the reasons that we might do it that are sort of outside of ourselves, I suppose, or out of our control. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like I kind of became so aware of that, and I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. And now 5 years down the line, like, it's not like I was never addicted, like I actually went to an AA meeting just to see what was up, like, I didn't really know if I was addicted. Maybe I wasn't too sure, and I wanted to see what other people were like. And that was amazing, because hearing people's stories and like seeing what they've been through, I start to realize how good I have it, and how real and intense of an impact alcohol can have on people. And I believe it's the second most addictive drug that humans take. I think it's second to heroin. Could be wrong, let me know if I am in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And yeah, just the fact that it's like so widely acceptable is kind of insane for that reason, I think. And yeah, anyway, but these people with these stories in AA, it was really, really crazy to hear. So yeah, I think that made me realize I probably wasn't an addict, because they talk about if you have one drink, you always want to have one more. Like, it's like once you start, you can't stop. And I don't think I ever quite felt that way, but I think a lot of people talk about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people that are addicted who might not even realize it. And I think something that it also became clear to me was that you don't have to be a train wreck to be addicted to alcohol. You can still be a functioning human. You can still have a well-paid job. You can still hold like a family life together, or to a degree, I suppose. You can still do the things that like are normal to do for you to be acceptable in society, but still be having like a really hard time with alcohol. So yeah, not that I think that was me, but it was interesting to learn so much more about it, and like the different effects it can have on different people. So yeah, I am glad I was never addicted to it, because I think that would be really, really difficult, and it would definitely start to control your life. So for me, it was more just like realizing that this is something I do sometimes that wasn't having a positive effect on me, and just stepping away from it. And again, I never think about it. Like, it's never like, oh, I wish I could drink. It's not like that. I think I've had a couple of non-alcoholic beers in the 5 years. Don't think I've ever finished them. Obviously, like, beers don't really taste good, in my opinion. and then if they've got the alcohol in them, I guess that's why you're drinking them. So yeah, every time I've tried to, it's just been like, no thanks. Actually, I swear, like, I think they have like a tiny, tiny, minuscule amount of alcohol in them. I swear I'm so sensitive to it now that I even feel like that slight tinge, but yeah, I don't know if that's just more of like a placebo effect or not. But I just love the feeling of being like aware, you know, I'm in control of my actions, I'm aware of my actions, I'm aware of who's around me. And I guess I like that, you know, I like to be sharp and I like to just see a situation, be able to assess it properly, you know, be able to think through it clearly. I don't like the haze, I don't like being out of control. I certainly don't like the idea of blacking out and not remembering a whole night, which I have had that happen a few times. And obviously I don't like the idea of drinking too much and all things like that. But at the end of the day, like, as far as performance is concerned, if you're like someone like me that's like into fitness, is into like exercising and stuff like that, it's just like it gives us nothing, you know. It is only taking away. And so for that reason, that for me that's almost enough. I since like become a lot better in social situations without drinking. It can be a little bit difficult if I'm around other people that are drinking, because it just becomes almost like an us and them type thing. It's like a little bit weird, but there's so many other people that don't drink a lot or don't drink at all and do other things to be social, so that really hasn't been a problem for me. I feel like it's only really given me like large benefits socially, really. Didn't quite feel that way at first, but over the years it's definitely become much clearer to me. So yeah, I really, really think it was a good decision. I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, like, it wasn't giving me anything, you know, it wasn't doing anything for me, and I didn't want to become like those people that it's kind of just become like their life, you know. So yeah, I suppose that kind of like sums it up for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know, and let me know your experiences with alcohol in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.